Hello, skateboarders. Welcome to TSM Live Show, Season 4, Episode 6. I'm your host, Tommie Zam. This episode's feature skater is Cecely Todacheenie, Carl LeNoir, and music by Lissie. You guys ready to get this show started? Let's do this.
Sing a new, get to live, sing a blind, and suck! Suicide alternative, sing a time, what's the point, sing a touch, no one listens, sing a listening, it's all live, sing a thinking, instead of feel, sing a movie, getting it well, sing a mess out, I wanna live, sing a tired, no one cares, sing a blind, and suck! Sing a project, follow the wind, sing a power, only impressive, sing a government, full of tires, sing a school, sing a music, stop and start, sing a mess out, I wanna live, sing a tired, no one cares, sing a lie, and suck! Suicide alternative, sing a lie, and suck, sing a tired, no one cares, sing a mess out, I wanna live, sing a living, gotta die! Suicide alternative! Well, I got a little story to tell about a man said he came from hell. He said, Satan's been looking, especially after me. He said, Satan's got a paper, gonna set my body free. He said, power and glory, riches and joy, all in your name, and I'll begin to say, oh yeah. Power in your name, glory and fame, I'm gonna go and all the rings.
Hey, what's up here? How you doing?
Howdy. Good. How's it going?
Dude, that was a sick little commercial. I saw you in that little Refused Wheel commercial. That was badass, dude.
Thanks.
How's everything going?
It's going pretty good. Just stuffed my face in a matter of minutes. So now.
Oh, yeah? What'd you eat?
We had some Blakes, Texas style.
Ooh, that sounds delicious.
Doesn't mean anything at all, but.
What part of Texas you're in?
Here in Dallas. I'm just north of Dallas right now, actually, in my family's house for Father's Day celebrations.
Hey, I like your artwork, man. You did a pretty good job.
Yeah. I was just working on this painting here. Actually, this is my grandma's work. She's a badass painter, among other things.
Hell yeah! So you ready to get
lighting in the house?
You ready? You ready to get into this?
Yeah, let's do it.
All right. So tell us, some of the viewers might know who you are and some might not. Tell us a little bit about you.
Well, my name's Kira. I am from Texas, like 7th generation Texas. Been here forever. I like to ride skateboards and go fishing and shoot BB guns, drink beer.
Hey, that's a good life right there in Texas, man.
I gotta live up to the Texas standard.
Oh, I mean, there's 7th generation, so I mean that's like way up there. So you gotta keep the Texas standard going.
Yeah, that's right.
So what got you into skateboarding?
Man, I don't even remember. I've been around it my whole life. My dad was a skateboarder. My stepdad was a skateboarder. Just kind of like grew up in the culture, a lot of punk rock, skateboarding, like motorcycle culture. And so I just was kind of always around it. I always skated whenever I was a kid, and it's just kind of always been there. I don't even know like what started it all.
So that's pretty cool. I mean, so you kind of like your dad and your family. So it's kind of like a seventh generation of skateboarding, right?
Yeah, pretty much.
You got to keep it in the family,
Yeah, my stepdad, my ex-stepdad, he's not my stepdad anymore, but he was for a long time, and he was actually like Flo for Zorlak back in like the mid-90s. Yeah.
What was his name?
Chris Acuff. I don't know if anyone knows who that is, but
Well, I grew up with Scott Stanton. He's a old pro skater for Zorlak. He grew up out here in Pensacola. So I mean, I grew up with him. Yeah, so that's why I was like, oh, Zorlak guy, that's pretty rad.
Yeah,
Right?
he was really young at the time, and his mom was just kind of blew it for him. My son's not going out and skateboarding in those pools with those guys. They smoke cigarettes and drink the beer. I don't think she really talked like that at all, but that's how I imagine her.
That's what you imagine, right?
Yeah.
And do you remember your first setup?
It was, God, I remember it was like a Hosoi deck. But other than that, I really don't remember anything else. I don't remember what kind of wheels it was. I don't remember the trucks. I just remember a Hosoi deck because I saw a picture of it later on and I was like, oh shit, I know what that is.
You're like, hey, I'm gonna grab that board because I know who that is, right?
Yeah, I mean, I didn't pick it out. It was my stepdad who like put it all together for me, gave me complete for Christmas. So
that's awesome. And what's the skate scene like in Dallas?
It's huge, man. There's tons of skateboarders out here. There's lots of girls too that skate that are rippers. Everybody kind of knows everybody. It's a little big city, so you know there's a ton going on. There's tons of parks here. We've got the Point Skate Shop, which is the best skate shop here for sure. You know, best skate shop in the country, some might say.
Hey, you gotta represent yourself. That's cool.
Yeah,
man.
I mean they've helped us out a ton, so.
That's rad. And do you guys have a lot of skate parks in Dallas too, right?
Yeah, they're mostly in the suburbs. Most of the public parks are, but we have 4 down here in Dallas, which is awesome. They're doing a lot of really cool stuff for the community. But yeah, there's tons of parks everywhere. I mean, you kind of got to go out of the city a little bit to find most of them, but they're all about 30 minutes in every single direction.
Oh, that's cool. It's cool. And I mean, also too, I mean, like people don't know that there's a lot of like pro skaters that came out of Dallas too, like Mike Crum. You know, I know Cream Campbell. I think he's from Dallas, Texas. I mean, there's so much skateboarding that came out of Dallas, Texas. That like, I mean,
definitely.
I mean, you probably know the history of it better than I do. You know.
Yeah, I know so. I don't want to like get any of the history wrong, but yeah, like we have Jeff Phillips and like the Zorlak dudes. We've got at least from Texas in general. Craig Johnson. Todd Prince and all those dudes, John Gibson, they're all like Texas, right?
Yeah. Hey, everything's big in Texas, dude.
Yeah. I mean, there's a ton of people, like you said, we've got Jason Lee lives here. King Diamond lives here. Very proud of that. Sick. Not a skateboarder, but also a god.
Have you met him yet?
No, but my boyfriend and I went to his house and knocked on his door, and he did not answer. I know where he lives.
He probably looked in the camera and was like, I don't know who these kids are.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure he was looking through the peephole and was like, hell no. I moved out here so this wouldn't happen.
That's rad, dude. And so you said there's a lot of girl skaters in Dallas. So, I mean, since you started skateboarding, what was it like being a girl skater in Dallas, Texas? Was it like hard? Was it tough? Was it easy? I mean,
whenever I was first skating a lot, there were only like a couple other girls and I didn't really know them. I just kind of saw them around every now and then. Valerie Bradley was one of the first kind of like girls, that I know of to really come up here in Dallas. She's awesome. Her husband is actually doing the Overground project.
Okay.
Oliver Bradley. Yeah, they're super cool people. But she's been around forever and there's a couple other people too. But back in the day, there really wasn't a ton of girls at all. But now there's you can go to any park at any time and you'll see 2 or 3 other girls skating.
Yeah. So
it's really cool to see,
That's awesome. And it's cool too. Cause I grew up, I've been skateboarding for 30 something years. And so, the 2 girls that stuck in my head that I seen her grow was like Lisa Steamer. And I might not remember her last name and I might get hated on that. But Jamie, who rode for Zoo York, those 2 girls are like, I think my opinion has inspired girls skateboarding. And I think it's amazing what they did, and to see, you know, girls like you and other girls out there just killing it, dude. Like, I mean, I love watching girl skaters, but I like dude skaters. I mean, because you guys, like, to me, looks like it have more fun. You know, don't get me wrong, dudes have fun too, but it's just awesome because it brings back to what skateboarding was when I was growing up, giving the high fives and rooting for each other. You know, nowadays it's like the guy skaters are kind of like chip on their shoulder or whatever, where girl skaters, they have fun with it. And that's awesome, man. And I have so much respect for that, dude, you know?
Yeah, it's like it's a really cool community. Most girls are super supportive of each other and like just want to see each other grow and like learn new shit and just kind of improve, you know, just because it's fun. Yeah. It's not really like, I don't know, competition. At least I don't see it that way. I can't speak for everybody, but you know, I know a lot of guys maybe kind of are a little bit more competitive. Yeah. Because maybe they're at a higher skill level where they can be and they're fighting for that. I don't know. It's just, I don't know. I know that like there's a lot of girls who are beginners now, you know, that, and I think a friend of mine kind of pointed this out, and I've really put a lot of thought to it, and I think it's really true, is, you know, a lot of young boys are encouraged to do things like skateboarding, you know, when they're little. So they get into it when they're little, and by the time they're my age, they're like really good, you know? So that's why I feel like there's a lot of really good dudes who maybe outnumber the amount of really good women, because a lot of these guys had more encouragement as they were kids. Whereas like, you know, I'm a lot older and like most girls who are starting out now are like, you know, teenagers or in their early 20s, because they have the confidence now to do something like that, you know, now that, you know, they may not have had that encouragement as a kid to do something like that. Or they were told like, oh, that's boys do that, you know, like you're going to hurt yourself.
Hey,
that's changing though, I think, a lot.
No, it definitely is. And it's rad, dude. Cause I mean, and it's true too. Cause I mean, there's a lot of young girl skaters out there who, I mean, I can't remember her name, the one that's skating in the Olympics and whatever, you know what I mean? She's killing it, dude. Like, I think she's like 10 or 11 or something. I can't remember, but she's crazy. You know, but it's
people send me these videos all the time of like 8-year-olds on mega ramps and shit like that.
And you're like, dude, I'm only 22. I'm only 21. What the hell?
Yeah. No, I'm 28.
Oh, you're 20. Oh, my bad. I'm trying to get that young age, you know? That's rad. I mean, that's cool. And do you what do you prefer more, street or a park?
I definitely prefer transition. I really like skating like DIYs and kind of like transition in the wild over like parks. I mean, parks are really fun, don't get me wrong, but I really enjoy skating like a really crunchy DIY ramp. That's my favorite. That's what we do. My boyfriend and I do a lot of traveling around the country, going to different DIYs, and a lot of the footage from the video I made, a lot of those are from different DIYs around the country. That's why I really like to skate. I want to go somewhere and find something and you make it a mission, you know. It's really fun to like go to my local park and like kind of skate the same stuff and hone in on certain things, but I really prefer to like go on a trip to a DIY and meet the locals there, meet the builders, you know, kind of, I don't know. It's a different kind of, I don't want to say culture, but it's just, it's a little different. And I really enjoy that.
Hell yeah, dude. That's rad, dude. And you guys have DIY spots in Dallas, right?
There's one in Denton, and there's like a couple really small kind of scattered about spots like in Fort Worth and Dallas. But not like, there's not like anything huge right now.
Yeah.
I'd say the biggest, there's Deerside in Denton, but that's about like, you know, they've got a pretty good sized little thing going on, but other than that, there's not a ton.
Well, I guess you got to build your own now, right?
Yeah, I know. Yeah, well, yeah, one of these days.
Just when you get back from your traveling, just, you know what? I skated Washington Street. I skated Burnside. I skated all these spots. I need to build my own, you know?
Yeah, that's kind of what I was thinking too. You know, I'd like to go travel around and learn from those builders and like really to get some tips of what to do, what not to do, kind of things like that. And then eventually take those skills back here to my hometown and start something like that, you know, eventually. That would be really cool.
That's awesome. And so you gave us this video. Tell us about this video about the premiere.
So like I said, a lot of it's like different DIYs. There's Memphis has a really cool DIY, Altown or AL Town. Then there's Mill Street DIY, and Jackson, Mississippi is really sick. Their city is totally blown it. They aren't building parks or anything. So the skateboarders have, built a really, really sick DIY. And then there's a foundation spot in Asheville, North Carolina. There's a couple clips from there too. That one's really cool. Asheville's a cool town. But yeah, it's from like a few different years of footage. So it looks like there's like 10 different people. But most of it's me, except for one other person. So,
hey,
yeah.
You ready to premiere it?
Yeah, let's do it.
All right, tell people what you're about to watch.
All right, you're about to watch my silly little skate video.
All right, let's check it.
Devil woman, let me. Devil woman, let me be. And leave me alone. I wanna go home.
Who's out here smoking marijuana?
The dark fills the flame upon you, and you get the golden eyes. At the wall, knocks around you, and until the faded dreams. Somewhere close, I feel your breath, and somewhere I stand still. What I felt for you last night is die with the morning light. Until that illusion makes me confused.
Dude, that was fucking sick, girl. Loved it,
Thanks.
dude.
It was fun to edit together.
You got tears in my eyes because I loved it, dude.
Oh, shit.
Dude, that part, that DIY spot with the graffiti, where's that at, dude?
I don't know. There are like 4 different ones.
I don't know. I think it was the one where you did the 5-0 stall and then you back in with the little.
Oh, yeah.
Quarter.
That was in Fort Worth.
Dude, that part, dude. When I head up back to San Diego, I want to skate that spot. Dude.
Yeah, it was really cool. It's just that ramp, but it's really fun. It's really well built too, which is cool. But yeah,
awesome.
I'll show you where it's at.
Hell yeah, and I love your dog, man. You got your dog with you, dude. That's awesome, dude.
Yeah, that's Ollie.
He goes on the road with you a lot.
Oh yeah, he's always there. He's an all-terrain dog.
Dude, that was a sick ass video, dude. I'm so hyped, dude.
Appreciate that.
And how'd you pick the song, dude? That was a badass song.
I really like that band, Detente. They're really sick. It's like I guess they're like from the 80s. I don't know. And then got to throw some Marty Robbins in there too,
Yeah. That was rad, dude.
Mislead them a little bit.
And question, so you're into punk rock. What's your top 5 punk rock bands?
Oh my God.
I got you on that one now. Just come off your head, the top 5, the ones that you mostly listen to.
Gangrene, GBH, Detente. I don't know if they're like necessarily like punk rock, but Hood Rat, their local band, really sick. Dr. No is really good. Fucking Big Boys. That should be number one. I think
I
that's
was waiting for you to say
right.
Big Boys.
Big Boys, yeah. Austin, Texas.
There you go, dude. That's
They're
right.
sick, yeah.
And who are your sponsors?
Just Refuse Wheels. They're sick.
Okay.
I love Alan. Eric's a cool dude. I love their wheels. They roll very well.
And how'd you get on Refuse Wheels?
They're just local homies, who said, "Hey, would you like to ride for Refuse Wheels?" And I said, "Yes." That's about how that story goes.
That's rad, dude.
And then I also have a company called Cesspool.
Okay.
We do all of our own graphics. Either like me or my boyfriend draw them and print them, or there's also a couple local artists that are our buddies that made some of our graphics. Theirs are really more legit, but cool.
Cool. That's rad, dude. And where can people, the viewers or the audience can check out the products?
We have like a Big Cartel website right now, which kind of sucks to be completely honest. But if you go to our Instagram, it's cesspool.bfm for Beer Fueled Maniacs.
I like that.
You can hit us up there, and there's also a link to our website, but it's really most efficient to hit us up straight through there. Or you can go to the Point Skate Shop and also buy stuff in person. So,
All right.
yeah.
So viewers, you hear that, man? Go check her out and buy her products, and local skate shops support her. But hey,
Yeah, that's right.
and before we take off, what can you tell the upcoming skaters? Like any good advice, anything you want to tell the upcoming skaters?
Have fun. Have fun and don't give a fuck what anybody says to you. And have
Hell
a good
yeah.
time.
High five, girl. Hey, Kira, it was great, dude. It was so awesome, man.
Yeah.
And I'm so proud of you. And your video was amazing, dude.
Thank you.
And I wish you the best in anything you decide to do in skateboard career, man. Like,
Thank you. I really appreciate it.
You got
Thanks
a lot
so
of
much for
talent.
having me. This is a lot of fun. I really appreciate you.
Hell yeah, girl. All right, well, you guys, coming up next, we got the one and only Lissie coming up. So let's check it. Hey, how you doing?
Hi, I'm so good. How are you doing?
Good. So, where are you at right now?
Excuse me.
Oh, you all right?
Yep. I'm up in northeastern Iowa, actually at a friend's house because my Wi-Fi out in the country isn't very good. So they were kind enough to leave the door unlocked for me.
Oh, that's really nice of them to do that.
Yeah,
Well, cool. Well, you ready to get into this?
absolutely.
All right. Well, some of the viewers, some of the audience might know who you are. Can you tell me a little bit about you?
Yeah, my name is Lissie. I'm a singer, songwriter, play guitar, lead vocalist, and write a lot of songs. And so I've put out 4 full-length albums, some EPs, some cover EPs, and so forth, and have toured extensively for the last 10 or so years. Of course, now with COVID, I'm not out and about as much, but do a lot online, and I'm looking forward to, I'm putting a new album out early next year. So,
Okay, that's awesome.
yeah.
And did you grow up in Iowa, or where'd you grow up at?
Basically, I grew up in a town called Rock Island, Illinois, which is part of the Quad Cities. It's right on the Mississippi River. So, like, I kind of always joke, like, if you wanted to go to, like, an Olive Garden, you had to cross the Mississippi to go to the Iowa side where the fancy restaurant, the Olive Garden, was in Iowa. Loved those endless breadsticks. So, yeah, so I could basically kind of feel like I grew up in Iowa to some extent, and I moved back here about 6 years ago. So I was out in LA and Ojai, California for many years, but moved back to the Midwest and back to my roots.
There you go. And what got you into music? Was like your mom or dad into like musicians, or did they like make you listen to like oldies, goldies, or anything like that, or what?
So my parents are both kind of musical. You know, my siblings, like, we're all kind of musical. My grandfather was a barbershop quartet singer and was in musicals and was a choir teacher. So I grew up being, you know, my parents would listen to like Motown and when their friends from college would visit. So I was exposed to music and went to musicals, and I think just at a young age when I went to go see musicals that like my grandpa was in locally, just thought that looked like a lot of fun. So my mom, I'm the youngest of four. My mom was always very supportive of whatever any of us were interested in. And so she put my sister and I into like these singing, acting, dancing troupes that would put on shows. And, you know, I just loved it. I loved to perform. I think I loved the attention. And I always had a pretty big voice. I could always sing pretty strongly. So I just, from a young age, would start making up songs and started playing guitar in high school and writing songs to sort of deal with some of that angst I was feeling. And really just never looked back, just figured in one way, shape, or form, this is what I was going to do for a living. And I've figured out a way to mostly do it. So
That's awesome. And you said you were in the, like musicals and stuff when you were younger. What kind of plays were you in?
yeah, you know, I was in these kind of group kind of ensemble shows that were like lots of different songs. But when I was 10 or 9 really, and 10, I ended up getting the part of Annie in the musical
No way.
Annie. Yeah.
Really?
And it was in a dinner theater. So it was, you know, professional theater. I made a little money. They dyed my hair red, and I did like 82 performances. So I was Little Orphan Annie, and I really had the big voice for it. And it was a great experience. Kind of, I think, led to me feeling probably more mature at a younger age, which then would get me into trouble when I tried to talk to adults like I was their equal. That didn't go over so well. So definitely got in a lot of trouble in high school. But yeah, I was in The Music Man. I was in King and I was in.
No way, really?
Yeah, but once I got to high school, I got real moody, you know. So I stopped really wanting to be in musicals. It kind of was embarrassing to act at that age. I didn't really want to people. I wanted to sing my songs, but I didn't really want to like act. So I stopped doing that and moved on to other things.
Dude, that's awesome. And I don't mean to go back a little bit, but so when you were 9-year-old and did your first Annie show, I mean, were you nervous at 9 years old? Were you like kind of like, I got this?
I think that I remember sometimes being worried that I'd forget the words, but no, I was a pretty bold, kind of fearless, proactive sort of child, I suppose. And yeah, I felt very confident. I felt like I've got this. I was born to do this. So I loved it. I think by the end I got tired because I was also going to school.
Yeah.
And I wouldn't get home till like 10 o'clock at night and would have to get up early and go to school. And but it was a great experience. So
that's awesome. That's awesome. I mean, just to know that you played Annie, that to me, that's like, man, I get nervous being in the live stream.
Yeah, there's all kinds of things that make me nervous, but you know, singing, like I acted recently. I was on a TV show actually, and that made me very nervous. But singing for people comes very naturally.
Oh, that's awesome. And so we're gonna go up a little bit. So you're in high school and you were in a bands and stuff. So do you remember the name of the band that you started?
I was never in any bands in high school. I mean, I went to a pretty traditional, just Midwestern high school, you know, a few hundred kids in my class. There were some kids that like had bands, all boys, you know, there were never really any other women around that were wanting to write and perform and play guitar and stuff. So that was just sort of my own personal thing. And I would go to open mics at coffee shops and just do solo acoustic. The guys who played music, you know, it was kind of more punky, grungy stuff that I would sometimes go, but they weren't really like my crew. So I would go to stuff, but so music was very much like my own thing. I didn't play with other musicians really till I went to college, and even then not a ton. And it really was when I moved to LA that I found like a bunch of people that I could play music with.
Dude, that's awesome. I mean, so you're basically like been a solo person basically all your life, you know what I mean, as a musician.
Yeah, in general, I'm very much like a loner. I have a lot of friends.
Nothing wrong with that.
Yeah. I mean, I live alone. I live out in the country. Even in college, I didn't have a roommate. I don't know what my deal is, but I'm good at spending time with my own thoughts.
No, and it's true too. I mean, being being a loner, like I live, it's just me and my dog, and that's it, But
Yeah, I have a dog too. Yep.
and it's cool too because you learn about yourself more than living with somebody else. Then you got to worry about somebody else and worry about taking care of that. Where you just like, hey, you know what? I got myself. I'm gonna take care of myself. I'm gonna do what I'm gonna do.
Yeah. No, and I think that the grass is always greener. I don't always want to be.
Yeah, I know what you mean.
The captain of the ship at all times, but I think as like a highly sensitive sort of artistic temperament, I get overstimulated and I'm sensitive to a lot of things, not because I am high maintenance, just because that's how I'm wired. I think that I've sort of always tried to craft a life that I could accommodate my sensitivities and stuff,
Yeah, definitely. No, I know what you mean. I know 100% you need. And so we're going to go up a little bit. So you dropped an amazing album, and that album was the piano album. I call it the piano album, and that was amazing, dude. That was hands down, like, I loved it.
Thank you.
I mean, it was just, if viewers, you ever get a chance, name of the album is When I'm Alone, the Piano Retrospective, and check it out, dude, because it's amazing, dude. Like, that's you playing the piano.
No, that's not me playing the piano.
Oh, I thought you. Oh, I thought it was you. My bad. Oh, I feel bad. I feel embarrassed.
I wish. I don't play the piano. I play guitar. I play rhythm guitar. Okay. But no, I have a lot of really talented friends that I write and work with sometimes. Martin Kraft, and then Joe Dutteridge, who's this British piano player that plays in my band, is also a singer songwriter in his own right. Yeah, that project, because I put out all these full length albums of originals. So a few years ago, Joe, one of the piano players, and we were doing some promo for my last album, Castles, and we were just doing it, him on piano, me just singing. And I had always played the guitar, so it was really kind of fun to just have a microphone and be able to put my body into it and not be having the guitar that I'm, worried about. So we started doing these little one-off, like kind of promotional gigs, and I enjoyed it so much that we're like, let's just record like piano vocal versions of some of my songs from over the last decade. And that was what When I'm Alone's the Piano Retrospective. Each of those songs exists as a fully produced version on earlier albums.
Okay.
So it was cool to do. It was freeing for my voice, and it was also nice to sort of revisit these songs that were like really personal from very specific times in my life and sort of internalize them as me at that age rather than, how they were originally written. Yeah. So it's always fun to me, like who resonates with what, like some people were like, why'd you make that piano record? And I'm like, because I felt like it. So the fact that
hands down, I give it a 10.
Yay!
If I had like two other hands, it'll be 20.
Yeah. Yes. Well, thank you very much. I appreciate that.
And no, it was a great album. I mean, people have to check it out. I mean, it was just cool. I personally thought it was you. I was like, holy shit, she's still playing piano. This girl can do anything.
No, I wish I should have just lied and said yes. No, both Martin and Joe are brilliant piano players who've been playing piano like their entire lives. And I took piano lessons. I just didn't ever want to practice. Even with guitar, like I can hold my own with rhythm. But, it'd be awesome to be able to shred. But I've just never had that amount of discipline to sit down and practice, because that's really what it takes to get that muscle memory. Yeah. So,
and how'd you pick up the guitar? I mean, like, did somebody teach you? Did you just learn it on your own or what?
So my dad had given my mom a guitar because my parents have been together since like high school.
Congratulations.
Yeah, they've been together forever. And so I think at one point my dad gave my mom a guitar as like a gift because it was the 60s and it was like, let's play the guitar. She never really learned how to play it, but it was around the house. It was there. And when I was about 10, I was like, I want to play guitar. And I didn't practice. So that sort of paused. And then around 14, 15, when it was a way for me to write songs. I didn't, had I had a bunch of other musicians around me to play and for me to just sing, I might have not learned the guitar, but out of necessity, it's like, if I want to perform, if I want to write songs, I have to learn how to play the guitar. So around 14, 15, I just started teaching myself some chords. Like, I'd taken lessons, but again, I didn't really practice. But when I was writing my own songs, then I was more motivated to like express myself. So then I just had to start figuring out the chords and learning them.
Dude, that's awesome. I mean,
yeah.
I tried to play keyboard when I was young, and I couldn't even do it. I think actually I want to take it back. So the song I did learn how to play was actually a song that you covered, and it's actually one of my favorite songs back in like late 80s, and you probably know what I'm about to say, the Sinead O'Connor song. Nothing compares to you.
Yeah.
I learned how to play that on the keyboard, dude. And that song, I love that song, dude. That took me back like in my like middle school days, dude.
Yeah, what a powerful song. I mean, Sinead O'Connor is brilliant. And I went through this breakup last summer, and that song just kept shuffling on this playlist thing. And it was like really healing for me to get to cover some of these songs that were sort of coming on when I was processing and like grieving this loss. And, just spent a lot of time out in my garden listening to
Sinead O'Connor.
Really beautiful songs like that. And like, I covered Where Have All the Cowboys Gone and Wrecking Ball by Miley Cyrus and Bloody Motherfucking Asshole by Martha Wainwright. And so that's great that you learned that song on the keys. You're probably better at the keys than I am.
Dude, I haven't played the keys in like ages. So, I mean, I probably like don't even remember how to do it. If I mess with it, it's a memory thing, And going back to the cover, so how do you have to get permission to do cover songs, or how's that all work out?
No, you don't. You can cover a song, and then, the person whose song it is, they own the publishing. And to get real music business with you, it's like whoever owns the recording is like, that's the master, but then the publishing side is the writer. So, in the event somebody came to me and said, hey, we want to put your cover of Nothing Compares to You in a McDonald's commercial, Sinead would need to, she could say no, so there is still, and I would respect that she would say no. I mean, that's just an example.
McDonald's.
Yeah. So I've never really been in a position where that's happened, but it could happen that someone could say like they didn't want their song used in a certain way, but mostly it's all been really, really positive. A few people I've covered, I've gotten their blessing, and then others haven't come back to complain or anything. So.
And one of the wonderful, powerful cover song another one I liked was the Metallica one. Nothing Else Matters, dude. That was heavy, dude. How did you like? I heard that song so many times when I was younger, and then hear you play it, and you get those instruments and everything. Like, how did you get it all together, dude? That's fucking awesome.
Yeah, I had some definite like Black Album phases. Nothing Else Matters, especially for me. I mean, that's probably in my like top 5 favorite songs. It really, of course, Metallica is like this tough band, but that song is so tender and so beautiful. And, I went through all kinds of heartaches in high school. I mean, I remember on New Year's Eve one night, the guy that I liked was like making out with my best friend in the basement.
What?
And I like just went up in my room and listened to Nothing Else Matters over and over again, So it was always just a song like to this day when Kirk Hammett is dun da 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 da. It's like, oh my God, this is just, it gets you. At least it gets me. I just think it's brilliant. So I wanted to cover it, but I have this great guitar player, Eric Sullivan, that I play with, who's a genius guitar player. So it was really fun because I was working with someone who finally, like, he could play all the guitar parts, all the lead lines, all the solos. So we were able to record that together, and it turned out great. A lot thanks to Eric, because he could pull off the guitar parts. But
whenever that song comes on my Spotify, I always turn it up right when that, and I'm just like, dude.
So good. They're so good. I mean, I love, some people might think these are cheesy choices, but like Kirk Hammett / Trey Anastasio from Fish are some of just like my favorite musicians. I love lead guitar. I love really, really great lead guitar players. Like, and I want to be one, but I just can't. I don't practice. So,
hey, it was good, dude. And then I noticed you do a lot of cover with Fleetwood Mac stuff and everything. Is she one of your top 5 like artists or what?
I mean, I wouldn't say so. Of course, I have huge respect for Stevie Nicks, and I love Fleetwood Mac. I mean, their songs are incredible. That sound is just so tasty, so good. But no, it was funny because I was asked to cover Go Your Own Way for like a tea commercial like 10 years ago. And so I did. And then that version ended up being licensed and like it was in a movie trailer. It was in a...
No way, a movie trailer?
Yeah, it was a Safe Haven, which was like a Nicholas Sparks movie. It ended up just, my manager would say like, hey, shoot me an email. Like Nothing Else Matters has been picked up to be in this and to be in this. So that song just had so much life beyond what I thought when I was asked to cover it. And then I ended up covering Dreams because my piano player and I were out doing some radio show and they asked us to do a cover. And really we were going to cover Drive by the Cars, but then they were like, we were going to do Eternal Flame by the Bangles, but they were like, oh, you are, badass. And we did have done that one, but they were like, oh, you can't because you already have done that before, so you have to pick a new one. And my piano player's like, well, Dreams only has 2 chords in it, so I'll learn it like really fast. So he learned it, boom, like I like looked at the lyrics, okay, I remember this song. We had to like on the spot choose a new cover. So it was sort of a happy accident because then I put it on the Retrospect album. And then it streamed a lot, especially since that guy, the Dogface 420, he skateboarded with the cranberry juice. Yeah. So that was the song Dreams. So after I covered that song, and it was like after he skateboarded to it, all of a sudden I was getting streamed like my numbers had gone way up. It was crazy. Like this. Yeah, I'm like, thank you, Dogface 420 and Fleetwood Mac for creating this moment and like COVID chaos of like this sweet moment everyone really loved. Like, yeah, it was so cool. And then all of a sudden, like my song, my version rather, was being discovered all of a sudden by so many more people. So
that's awesome, dude.
A lot of happy accidents, I think.
Yeah, no, that's awesome. And you just, how I got introduced by you is from a legendary skateboarder, Guy Marano. And in his video that he dropped for Pretty Sweet for Girl Skateboarders, Pursuit of Happiness, that song is what got me introduced to you. And also, too, I think a lot of the skateboard world got to know who you were in that song. So how did you get involved in that?
Yeah, I mean, it's again just like these happy accidents. Like I had covered Kid Cudi's Pursuit of Happiness at this concert in England, and it wasn't going to be filmed or anything, but at the last minute, they were there to film this other song. And then I was like, will you film this? And it was like the first time we played it, my guitar went out of tune. I was like, drinking tequila. Like it was this whole thing. And then the video ended up on YouTube. And before it was like, we had millions of streams, and people really resonated with it. I actually ended up getting to talk to Kid Cudi a little bit. It was sampled in Schoolboy Q's Hands on the Wheel. Like, it's crazy how these things take on this life of their own. So I just, I skateboarded a little in college, but I don't know much about the skateboarding world. And it just sort of kind of happened that like, oh, Guy Mariano like skated to your cover and Pretty Sweet. And he ended up coming to one of my shows and gave me a Pretty Sweet hoodie, which I still have and wear all the time. And yeah, it was just like this like happy random thing that he resonated with that cover and he used it. And it kind of, like broke me into a whole new genre of folks that were turned on to my music. And I think too, like my songs have since been in like some snowboarding stuff, and Red Bull, does a lot with like extreme sports, like over in
Yeah.
Scandinavia and stuff. I think my songs have been used for things. So yeah, it kind of opened me up to a whole new world of people, which is very grateful. Very thankful to Guy. He's so talented.
Oh yes, he is.
Oh my God. Yeah. I mean, I love watching skateboarding. It is really hypnotic and impressive for sure. So
Yeah, and another question I'm going to ask you before when you get into your music, do you feel like when you're being a female singer and starting as a female singer, do you feel that it has got better in the music world as being a music singer?
well, I mean, I know it's important to discuss this like equity that needs to exist, just for everybody. But in terms of men and women, I think I just adapted. It's like I just knew that I was in this male-dominated, patriarchal world growing up that caused me problems. When I went to college, I was trying to be in the music scene. I felt like a lot of guys didn't take me seriously, or they thought that I was like, if I got to open for somebody, like I must have like, turned on my girlish charms or whatever at the time. And so I would just write songs about how it frustrated me, but I think it motivated me to be like, fuck you, I'll show you.
Fuck you.
Yeah. Like you don't intimidate me. So, I mean, I think I just was very like, I didn't even spend time thinking about it or saying anything about it. I just I was going to do my thing. I was going to keep going. And I ended up moving to LA and got the record deal. And then once I got to LA, I met a bunch of, suddenly I was in a scene where it was still more men, but I was starting to play with men who I felt like respected me as a leader. Mm-hmm. And then there were more women coming out to be part of our kind of community. So there were, we were putting on these shows every Wednesday, and there were just as many women singing as men. And then, to even in the last few years, just working with bands and tour managers and people across the business, accountant or my attorney, or all of a sudden, there's just a lot more women around. And
that's awesome.
And for the first part of my career, it was just all men because there weren't really ever any alternatives around that there was another way. But really just kind of, it seems like without even trying to work with women, there's just women are everywhere now. We're filling all the roles. And hopefully that will continue. I know we've got a long ways to go, but, I felt like I was really lucky. My bandmates, especially Eric and Lewis, they always made me feel like I was a leader. They respected my opinions. They would never, I never had to deal with them being like, oh, you're a girl, the way I did when I was 18 or 19. So I'm very grateful for that.
That's awesome, man. And you're really talented. You know what I mean?
Thank you.
You have a great voice, and I know the world's going to be able to watch you perform here in a few seconds and everything. But one of the things I wanted to ask you is what does Hollywood mean to you? You came out with a song Hollywood. To me, I want to hear what it meant to you, and I'll explain to what it meant to me.
Sure. Yeah. Hollywood was actually a song that my friend Martin, he wrote most of that song. And then I was like, I love that song. And then I kind of changed some of the lyrics and a few little melodic things. But, I think that it kind of on its surface seems like a tail between your legs kind of song. I went to Hollywood and it kind of broke my heart just like they told me it would. And now I'm packing up and I'm giving up and I'm headed home. But I think more for me, what I had to really reclaim after living in Hollywood and being in the music business, that kind of some things that some people might say were failures or fell short. I didn't view it as that. I think that I needed to define success for myself, which for me, that was buying a farm in rural Iowa and trying to find a work-life balance and so I think Hollywood for me kind of meant I'm not going to let you tell me if I'm good enough. Mm-hmm. I'm not going to let you dictate the definition of success for me or drag me down in your bullshit. But on its surface, I think it is kind of a little bit of a tail between your legs song.
No, I thought it was a very powerful song. I mean, to me, it felt because musicians, skaters, snowboarders, whoever have a dream to go to California, go to Hollywood, become something. And then they go there and they have this thought in their head, oh, I'm going to be this when I get there in 2 weeks. Then all of a sudden they realize like, hey, I got to get a job. I got to do this. Rent's so expensive. This and
Yeah.
this. And then you get there and you either, I say California either spits you out or you succeed. And that's what I got from Hollywood.
Yes, yeah. No, and I think it was about the city. It was about the relationship I had when I was there. I think it was really just trying to navigate like what could be like a superficial / like destructive place. And I think I got a lot of great things from my time in Hollywood too. So not to talk shit, but it really was like a fine line to navigate, like between how much of this do I buy into and let determine whether or not I'm successful, and how do I like claim my own kind of boundaries with Hollywood,
Yeah, definitely.
And for me, that was to move and to just visit when I record, and then tour, and try and balance it all out.
And be like, all right, I'm going back to Iowa. All right, I got to go to California. I'm going to California. I'm going back to Iowa.
It's nice too, because I'll come out to LA for like a week or two and have a great time, and then I'll be like, okay, I'm ready to go back to Iowa. And it's good because I can get stir crazy in Iowa, but then once I'm gone, I really appreciate like the small town vibes and like the ease of life. Life is easy around here.
I bet.
Yeah.
I bet. Well, you tell us about the song we're about to listen to. You're about to perform.
I think this one is I Don't Know What I'm Doing Anymore. So I chose to share that with you. And I just recorded it in my kitchen on my iPhone. So hopefully it's good. Or my iPad. It's a song that I wrote when I was 18. And it's part of the anniversary edition of my debut album, Catching a Tiger. So we're putting out some songs that were for Catching a Tiger that didn't make the cut.
Oh.
So I'm reissuing some old things. And so we've been putting out all these kind of new old songs. So I Don't Know What I'm Doing Anymore. I wrote it at 18, and I just thought it'd be fitting to share it as I've got this kind of new old song thing I'm promoting.
All right. You ready?
Yeah,
You ready?
I'm ready.
All right, guys. Let's jam out to Lissie, dude. Here we go.
Hi, it's Lissie. I'm going to play a couple songs for you. This first one is called I Don't Know What I'm Doing Anymore. Logically, I'm not listening to myself. Why I can't walk away. I need to put it up on my neatly dusted shelf and just dream of another day. I don't know what I'm doing anymore, and I don't know why I persist. I don't know what I'm doing anymore. I long for fabulous lips, forever indebted to his curiosities, though I see it as a threat. Oh, but all that he has taught me through his neglect. Mutual admiration, nameless fascination. It's so vexing, a complex fling of things I'll never know. There's too much here, the will is not there, I'm worth it. I swear I don't know what I'm doing anymore, and I don't know why I persist. I don't know what I'm doing anymore, how to get myself back into this. He loves me like passing at night, a rhyme that he writes, but sometimes I forget. And I will get just what I need. I
That was so rad, dude.
Oh, thanks.
So did you pick the kitchen because the acoustic was good there, or what?
Oh, I don't know. You know, I really struggled kind of through COVID of everyone needing stuff like record this thing and then like send it to us. And then I'm like, like Google Drive, and something always goes wrong. And my internet, I have satellite internet and it's slow. And so I really like, I should have some like special station set up in my house, but I'm very technology averse and I try to overcome it. But
Hey, you did good, dude. It sounded awesome, man.
yeah, well, thank you. The iPad and the satellite internet worked. So
Hey, thank technology, right?
yeah, and you know, I like had probably been out in the garden, and I think I used to like try and like get all dolled up for stuff. I don't do that anymore. I just am like, yeah, this is what I look like. So
Hey, I
this is
loved
what
it,
I
dude.
wear.
Hey, I loved it, man. I thought it was fucking awesome.
Yeah. So thank you. Yeah, it feels fun to revisit that song.
No, definitely. I hear that song, and to me, it means a lot to me, you know, because we live in a life where we don't know what to do. We don't know where to go. We don't know how to do things. And with that song, it kind of like puts it out there, you know?
Yeah, you know, I mean, it was about a guy who actually ended up becoming like a pretty famous musician. But when I was a freshman in college, he was living in the town where I was going to school. And he was not like... It's like it was one of those things where instead of like doing like the sensible thing, I just kept going back to a not healthy thing. I did that for a while, and it was like I know logically like that I need to walk away from this thing, but it was just I couldn't resist. So
I know what you mean.
yeah.
Couple things before we take off. What you got anything coming up or what?
Yeah, so I've got a live stream actually next weekend on the 26th. I'm going to do a little Q&A, kind of Catching a Tiger anniversary edition live stream. And then in August, I've got a festival. In September, I'm doing some shows in Minnesota. But really, I'm almost done with a new album. So early next year, I'll put out a brand new album of originals. It'll have been almost 4 years since I've done that. So got a new album coming, and then depending on the state of the world, in theory, I'm going to tour the new album next year in Europe and the US. And yeah, so I mean, fingers crossed, I've learned to surrender. I don't know what's going to happen, but I've got new music in the works.
Hell yeah, that's awesome. And where can people find you, your music and stuff?
You can go to Lissie, Lissie. That's like Lassie with an I is what I tell people, Lissie.com, or I'm Lissie Music on Instagram. I do have a Facebook that my management kind of runs for me, but I'm kind of addicted to Instagram, at least like going on it. So you might find me there. Sometimes I take it off my phone so that I can focus. But yeah, no, mostly just Lissie.com and Instagram, I'd say.
All right, cool. And then where can what's a good advice you can give to the upcoming musicians?
Yeah, well, you know, I mean, the industry, the business of it all, it's just changing rapidly. It's changed so much even since I started, because I had gotten like a record deal and had like a budget and stuff. So as it changes, I mean, I think what's really important is, for me, I do it because I have to. I do it because I feel like I have something I need to express or share or like stick up for myself, or, you know, there's a fire that I think if you have that fire and you do it because you have to and you mean it, not because you're trying to be cool or whatever. I think if you're really passionate and authentic in your desire to express and perform, then I think you'll find a way to make it work. And what that looks like is always changing, you know. Maybe it's on TikTok. I don't know, but
do you have a TikTok?
My niece had me sign up for one. She's a teenager, and I posted one video. I too much. I can't.
That would be funny to see, you know.
I'm not like a good dancer, so I don't know how I would learn the dances. No, but I think it seems like a lot of fun for people who are into it. So it's all good. But yeah, I just think it's like, yeah, it's an ever-changing industry, and I think that if you just really go out there and show your heart and you're creative and you have a good work ethic, that in some way, shape, or form you'll find a way.
Hell yeah. And Leslie, I want to say thank you so much for not introducing, but putting your voice out there and music and whatever you do, man. Like, you're an amazing artist. And I'm going to say, I told you before, you're one of my favorite artists, you know, and I love your songs. And if it wasn't for Pretty Sweet, I would have never known who you were, you know, and I want to say thank you for what you have done for the music scene.
Oh, you are welcome. Thank you so much. You've been so supportive and like enthusiastic and encouraging as well on Instagram. So it's my pleasure. I'm glad we made this work.
Hell yeah, hell yeah. And you stick around because coming up is Cecily. You ready to check her out?
Sure, yeah. I'm very excited.
All right, there you go. Hey, what's up? How you doing?
Hello, I'm doing good.
Are you excited? You're the ender, man. You're ready to end this all, right?
Yeah, thank you. Thank you for having me, and I really appreciate being on the show, and it's pretty awesome.
Hell yeah. And so where are you at right now?
Right now, I am in Gallup, New Mexico. It's right by Arizona. We're considered a border town.
Is it pretty hot out there, or what's the temperature like?
Yeah, it's pretty hot. It's about, I'd say the highest it's ever been is like maybe in the hundreds.
Ooh, how you skating that weather, man?
I usually try to skate in the evenings when it kind of like cools down, and the golden hour.
The golden hour. You got to, man.
Yeah.
Well, you ready to get into this?
Yep, I'm ready.
All right, cool. Well, you know, some of the viewers and some of the people might know who you are, or some might not. Tell us a little bit about you.
So my name is Cecily Todacheenie, and I've been skateboarding for about 15 years, and I am a co-owner of a skate shop, and I'm an advocate for the Gallup, New Mexico skate park.
Okay.
And I also love skateboarding.
That's awesome, dude. That's awesome. And what got you into skateboarding?
What got me into skateboarding? I would say, like, seeing my little brothers skateboard first, because they used to have like a little Walmart mini board, and just seeing them push around, and that's when I like tried it out. But then I didn't like stick to it until around the age of 16. Mm-hmm. Yeah, I actually went through like a traumatic incident, so I was kind of like feeling down and like just going through a hard time, and I took a summer job to keep myself busy. So then after that, I seen another person skating, so I asked that person if I could try their board, and from there I was like a light clicked, like, I need a board, I want to try this, I want to learn more. So that's when I bought my first board. Was from a summer job for the youth.
That's rad. And you remember the first board?
Yeah, it was actually a Zero Complete.
What?
With monster trucks.
No way, dude. And so did you buy it from a skate shop? Did you buy it from like a mall store? I mean, what'd you buy it from?
I actually bought it from Zoomies, because
Okay.
I didn't really know anything about like skate shops. I didn't know anything about being sponsored. I didn't know anything about like skate teams, skate videos. I just wanted a board.
No, that's awesome, man. And so did your brothers get jealous because you got your own board, or did they steal your board when they wanted to go ride, or what?
They're actually pretty happy. Yeah, they're pretty stoked, because my brothers have a different dad.
Mm-hmm.
So we were kind of like separated, and my grandparents they were the ones that were raising me. Mm-hmm. And they lived in a isolated, secluded reservational area, where my brothers lived closer to like in town.
Okay.
So at times they were pretty happy, and at times they would come out to the reservation to visit me and help me like with tricks, or build like something to grind, or learn a board slide.
That's rad, dude. And do like, and I know, going back a little bit, you said like, you know, you got away from skateboarding for a little bit, but then you found skateboarding again. And do you feel like skateboarding has saved you and got you where you're at now?
Yeah, I actually really do think that, because before skateboarding, my mind was like you know how you go through bad things and it just clogs your mind. But with skateboarding, I was able to like get out of that and just be active, get the blood flowing, and always be outside, getting that fresh air. And it taught me how to focus better instead of being in my head and like seeing that things I thought were impossible are possible.
Yeah, that's awesome, man. And skateboarding does do that too. You know what I mean? Like you get in there, and if you have like a bad day at work, or a boyfriend pisses you off, or a girlfriend pisses you off, or whatever, you jump on your board and you're just like, you feel free, you know?
Yeah.
You know, and I watched a movie on Netflix called Skater Girl. I don't know if you ever seen that. And it was actually pretty good, dude. It was actually pretty cool because it was about a girl in India, and she was growing up in the India, not like their way of, you know, you have to, you're 14, you got to get married and have kids. You know, they weren't allowing you to do this. And all of a sudden, you know, she got introduced to skateboarding, and then all she cared about was skateboarding. And that was amazing, you know. I don't know if you ever checked it out, but if you haven't, definitely check it out. It was a definitely good thing.
Yeah, I actually checked that out. I actually watched that like about maybe 2 days ago. It's very inspiring because like you see how she found the love for skateboarding, and like when you see somebody like that passionate, it brings back the passion you have for skateboarding, and it makes you pretty happy.
Yeah, and do you feel like that about skateboarding to you?
Yeah, that's how I felt with skateboarding.
That's awesome, dude. And what do you mostly skate? Do you skate a lot of street? Do you skate a lot of ramps? I mean, what do you prefer?
I usually prefer street skateboarding, and it's usually skating in the streets and just a street course.
Okay, and what's your to-go trick?
My to-go trick, when I start skating, I would say if there's a ledge around, I would like to do. I usually try to do a fakie 50-50s for a warm up, and usually try to do some.
That's a good warm up right there.
Yeah, I actually got more comfortable doing fakie 50s compared to like doing regular 50s.
Yeah, that's awesome, man. And you've been skateboarding, as you said, for 15 years, right?
Yeah.
And how's that? How like being skating for 15 years? And you know, I asked this question to Kira, and I'll ask you. Like being a skateboarder for 15 years, and you being as a woman skater, have you seen skateboarding change better for women skaters?
Yeah, I've seen a lot of change in skateboarding for women, especially like how you see more females starting to skate more, and how more recognition and more welcoming it is to more female skateboarders.
Yeah, that's awesome. And do you feel like, you know, like the industry is more now looking at women skaters than they were before?
Yeah, I would say so. I would say so. Yeah.
Go ahead. Sorry.
I think it's pretty awesome that it's starting to become that way, because a lot of females do deserve to be recognized for all their hard work.
No, it's true. You know what I mean? Like there's like it's cool. Like I was saying with Carol, it's like there's cool because you get to see, you know, all these like girl skaters that like coming from like, you know, 5 years old to now, and they're inspired. You know what I mean? Because you got Letitia's and you got like all these women skaters out there just killing it. You know, and it's inspiring other women skaters, and I have a lot of respect for that. You know.
Yeah, even I'm inspired. Even like seeing Raisa.
Oh gosh, kills it.
Yeah, she's amazing. Just seeing how she flows and how confident she is on the board. It's pretty awesome to see. And like having our skate park here, it's amazing to see the younger generation starting to pick up skateboarding too. Especially if they're females, like they're not afraid. They want to like go for it.
Yeah, definitely. And what's the skate scene like in New Mexico?
The skate scene's pretty good. I would say it's growing, like within people, like new people skating, within the people that used to skate are starting to skate again, and the female skateboarders are starting to grow, and it's pretty cool. And everyone's super supportive of one another, and I love the skate scene in New Mexico.
hey, the skate scene's great, dude. It's a whole different culture. You know what I mean? We don't see, you know, different genders and different colors and this. We we look at you as a skateboarder because you're cruising down the street, and we don't care what you are. You're a skateboarder to us. You're a skateboarder to that person or whatever. It's awesome to definitely do that. And you said that you're a co-owner of a skate shop. How did that work out?
Yeah, that worked out when we were being advocates for the skate park and working on trying to get that going. And when we finally got the skate park, when it was finally finished being built in 2018, a couple of me and my friends wanted to get a skate shop going. So when that time came, that's what we did. And at the same time, the city of Gallup also helped us with helping us find a place for the shop and a lot of support.
Dude, that's awesome for the city to get involved to help you find a shop, man. That's never heard of.
Yeah, they're really supportive and really wanted to help the skate community, from inviting us to legislative meetings to helping us with the arts crawl events and just being there and supporting.
That's awesome. And you skated a contest recently, like a few years ago or whatever, called Exposure. Tell us a little about that.
Oh yes, Exposure. That's one of my very first actual contests I ever skated in California, and it was one of I would say it was a very life-changing experience because I've never been to California or never seen any kind of like girl skate scene like that. So it was very encouraging for me, and meeting new females that are super supportive and amazing on the board was pretty inspiring for me to keep going and getting out there, traveling more, and meeting new friends, making new friends.
And you feel like that helped you a lot when you're skateboarding by going to Exposure and stuff?
Yeah, it actually it encourages you to learn more, and at the same time you get to learn skate with new people at street spots, and you share your ideas and pass on knowledge to one another. It's pretty awesome.
That's awesome, man. Like I've been to a couple of Exposures, and basically what it is, if some of the viewers don't know what it is it's an all-woman skate contest that Amelia puts on every year, right? She puts on every year. Is that what it is?
Yeah.
Yeah. You got it? There you go. There it is, right there. So that's Exposure. So she puts on every year, and it's awesome, dude. It's all girls from all over the world that come out, and they skate this contest. And every year that I've been there, it's always been at Encinitas Poods Park in California, and that's amazing. You skate that park, have you?
Yeah, I actually really like that park as well. The last contest they did was, thinking before the pandemic hit. That one was held at the Vans Park. You could see that. Funds, is that what it is?
Yeah, I think that's what it is. Yeah, it's in Huntington Beach, right? Or not Huntington Beach. It's yeah, I know where you're talking about.
That one was pretty awesome. That was one of the best ones I would say for me. I actually got.
Go ahead. Sorry. No, go ahead.
I got 7th place.
What? Sick! Congratulations, dude.
Thank you.
And how did you get into Exposure? Did you have to send skate videos? Did you had to do qualifiers or anything like that, or what?
Oh, no, you can just, I got invited by one of my friends. Her name is Dior Greenwood.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, she's actually from here as well, and she's Navajo Dene.
Okay. That's awesome, dude.
So she encouraged me because she was wanting to enter, and she messaged me and said, "Hey, let's go try this contest together. It'd be cool for both of us to enter." Then I told her, "Okay, let's do it."
And you've been hooked ever since then, right?
Yeah, from there it opened some doors, and I got invited to the Dam M, the one that was hosted at the barracks.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's awesome. And you gave us a video. Tell us about this video we're about to watch.
Oh, the video is a little part that I put together, and it showcases me skating street spots that I like, and also street spots that are pretty legendary that I'm pretty happy that I got to skate. And, and I'm glad that I got to put this part together for you guys, because it's skateboarding street for me is one of the best things, and you put in your hard work, and and like some of those tricks took hours, maybe hundreds of tries, but in the end, it's like the outcome is out. When you watch the outcome, it's pretty encouraging, especially seeing yourself like push yourself to the next level.
Oh yeah, and you ready to tell the people what we're about to when you're ready to watch it?
Yep. So enjoy my part, and thank you guys for all the support.
Let's check it out.
Shine, 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 let me open your eyes. Every time, yeah, I feel so alive. We're going bam, 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 yeah, I know who I am. We're gonna dance, 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 every chance that we can. Do it out, please, no apologies. I've always said, honey, you can take it from me. Shine, 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 let me open your eyes. Every time, yeah, I feel so alive. We're going bam, 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 yeah, I know who I am. We're gonna dance, 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 every chance that I can. And don't you ever worry, honey, you can take it from me.
Yeah, that was sick, dude. That was at the courthouse, right?
Yeah, that was at the courthouse.
Take me back to take me back to that day, dude.
Oh, that day we just recently made a trip out to California, LA, and we went out there to do some filming. And I'm glad I got to skate that spot because I heard that they would possibly tear it down, so I had to get my last session.
Dude, that was sick, dude. That was definitely sick. And like to make that part, I mean, it took you a lot of time, right?
Yeah, I would say it took me a good amount of time, and at the same time, I was filming for other parts, so it was a lot of work.
and what you got? What parts are you filming right now?
Well, the parts before were the exposure, 2020 in October.
Okay.
And the other part, my other part was for the skate shop, enchantment skate shop called It's Organic 2.
Okay.
And I'm filming for another part. It's for a video called Good Medicine.
Damn, you're killing it, man. You're 2021. You're busy, dude. You're like slinging in all these videos parts, man. I'm stoked for you.
Yeah, I'm super stoked too, and I still got a lot of tricks that are a lot of spots that I want to skate and a lot of tricks that I want to land, and hopefully I get it this year.
Oh yeah. And do you have sponsors? Who are your sponsors?
Oh, my sponsors, my board sponsor would be FFC.
Okay.
So they're one of my main sponsors, and I'm pretty stoked on them. They take care of me pretty good with what boards and whatnot. And I also have a Rasta Clap sponsor, so they send me Rasta Claps.
What?
And
Sick.
they're also a pretty awesome company and a really good movement to seek the positive and do good for others and yourself.
Dude, that's
spreading
right.
the message. And one of my other sponsors, one of the new sponsors that I picked up, they're also called C-Wax.
Oh, okay, yeah, C-Wax, yeah.
Yeah, it's a new company that that actually came out during the pandemic.
Okay.
So now they're out and about, and they sponsor me, and their wax is really good and it smells.
wait, how does it smell again? There you go.
So good. And I have a bearing sponsor as well, and they're called
Okay.
Bearings.
Hell yeah. Homie takes care of you, huh?
Yeah, Herbie's awesome.
Yeah, I love Hergy, dude. He's such a good guy.
These bearings are really good too, because since I live in New Mexico and sometimes it rains and it snows, so our bearings kind of get really ugly from like the salt from the snow when they're trying to melt the snow. So these actually work pretty good during winter because I feel like they clean themselves. So they keep me going fast.
That's rad.
And I also have my other two sponsors, Elevar Wellness. And
you got the CBD stuff. Okay. The Kush. So that stuff helps you out a lot, right?
Yeah, it actually helps a lot. And it's also very fresh. And it's a small mom and pop company.
Okay.
Also,
hell yeah, dude. That's rad.
And all of these are pretty legit. There's no like
ooh, look at those things, dude.
These are actually nice buds.
Damn.
No little crumbs in there.
Damn.
It's legit.
It smells good, right?
Yeah, it's really good quality, high quality, I would say.
Hell yeah.
And they also do little doobies.
Okay. Dude, that's rad.
Or joints.
You got a lot of pre-rolls, right?
Yeah. And another sponsor that I'm super grateful for is Thunder Trucks.
Okay. Yeah, Thunder's actually pretty good. I had some Thunders. I mean, I'm a Venture guy, but I wanted to switch up and try different truck companies. But if I want to stick to another company, it would be definitely Thunders. But I'm a Venture guy. Yeah,
Thunders are pretty awesome. I've been skating them for quite a while now. My first pair were the Leo Romero when he used to be on Thunder.
Yeah, those are pretty sick tricks. Trucks. I mean, I've seen those before. Pretty sick.
Yeah, it has his graphic like had the little monkey and it was mooning people. So that was a pretty good one. That's
right, man. So you got good sponsors and stuff, man, and they take care of you to help you when you go enter exposure and stuff like that too, and everything.
Yeah, they're pretty awesome on that. And like if I need to travel, FSC helps me with that as well, or they let me know that I'm able to reach out to them if I need expenses or help with traveling.
Oh, that's awesome, man. And we're good friends with one of the pros, Will Gabriel, man.
Oh.
He's such a nice guy, dude. Will's a good guy.
Yeah, he's pretty awesome.
Yeah, he's cool. And then do you now, before we take off, do you have anything you want to say to the upcoming skaters or anything?
Yeah, to keep skating and always have fun with it, and everything you do, give it your 100%. And just like skating, like you fall down and you always get back up. Just take that concept in life and you just keep getting back up and following your goals and stay focused.
Stay focused. I like that.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, dude. Well, thank you so much for coming on the show, man. And your video part was amazing. Kyra's video part was amazing. Leslie was amazing with her music and stuff, man. And I want to say, you guys have so much talent, and I have so much respect for you guys, man, and definitely killing it. I'm gonna say thank you for coming on the show. Definitely 100%.
Thank you. I'm pretty stoked, and I really appreciate you guys and everything you're doing for skateboarding and helping with exposure and really putting a light on us ladies.
Hell yeah, definitely. Well, it's a wrap for TSM Live Show, Season 4, Episode 6. I'm your host, Tommie Zam. I want to say thank you for allowing us film Episode 6. I want to say thank you to our guests for coming on TSM Live Show. I want to say thank you to our sponsors for making Season 4 possible. Tune in next month for Season 7 and sit back, drink a beer, roll a blunt, because we're going to be jamming out with Lissie. Later.
All right, this is my second song. I'm in my kitchen. I'm a little technologically impaired, but we're working it out, and I'm looking forward to talking to you. Thanks for having me. And I'll fall on my knees. Tell me how's the way to be. Tell me how's the way to go. Tell me all that I should know. and I'll fall on my knees. Tell me how's the way to go. Tell me how's the way to be, to evoke some empathy. And danger will follow me now everywhere I go. Angels will call on me and take me to my home, where this tired mind just wants to be let home. And I'll fall on my knees. Tell me how's the way to go. Tell me how's the way to be. Show me all I could be. And I'll fall on my knees and tell me how's the way to be. Yeah, tell me how's the way to go. Tell me why I feel so low. And angel follow me now everywhere I go. And angels will call on me and take me to my home, where these tired eyes just want to remain closed. Don't see clearly, and I can't feel nothing. Oh, can you help me? And I'll fall on my knees, and thank you so much.